Very good morning, one and all. This is Dr. Deeparani from RR College of Pharmacy from Department of Pharmacology, Bangalore. Thank you to Leena Madam for providing me opportunity for this guest lecture, and also Management, Jain College of Pharmacy. So today I'll be sharing my PPT on the topic of process of innovation development technology, readiness level, that is TRL, commercialization of lab technologies, and tech transfer. So coming to innovation, what is innovation? Introducing and applying a new ideas, process, or products or procedures to create a significant benefits. So when you want to innovate something, either it may be a process or it may be a products or it may be any new ideas which will be having a significant benefits for the society. And creative and flexible in your research. It is going to create a flexibility in your research and open a learnings from failures. So whatever the failures in the earlier steps you have done, that you can able to improve and make new things, which we will be calling it as an innovation. And we are going to learn from the mistakes. Innovation in a pharmacy is an introduction of new drugs. When you want to innovate something, it means that you are going to innovate a new drugs or a treatments or technologies to improve the patient health. So what is the importance of innovation? It's a economic growth. Economic growth by creating a job. When you have innovative ideas, you will create the job, such as a new industries. When you want to develop a product, definitely you should have a platform for manufacturing that product. So you have to generate a new industries and increase its productivity or competitiveness. That is the first thing. Second thing is social progress by improving the improved health by adopting a new treatments. When you have a new innovation, you will develop a new treatments, medical technologies, and which can enhance the standards of the living. For example, many advanced treatments are there where you are going to use innovative equipments, which can be beneficial for the patients. So in that way, you are going to be socially progressive by adopting a new treatment technologies and organizational success. So when you have a new products or services to increase the revenue, which can increase the revenue of the organization, and also it motivates and empower the team. It is going to motivate the team and empowerment of the team will be generated. That means organization when has new ideas, new techniques, they are going to adopt more number of people and generate a team which who can make a empowerment of the team. And the next one is technologically advancement. So by adopting a digital technologies, such as you can see nowadays, artificial intelligence, protection against the cyber securities, which will be adopting by a more number of the people because of convenience and which makes us easy to adopt all the things which can reduce manually all other works. Artificial intelligence, when you can see that you want to write any literature review or any publication or any of the books, you don't have any idea about that. When you search about the artificial intelligence, you are going to get the many ideas, right? So that is called as a technological advancement. You will be advanced in a technologically. And also protection of, one more example is protection against cyber security. So you need to have a security of the cyber when you are using a social platform, which can protect you from revealing all your confidential matters. Then personal growth. By adopting this importance of innovation is your personal growth. How you can develop your personal growth is by developing the skills. So skills such as soft skills, technical skills, and entrepreneurship, turning the ideas into business. You have a new idea, you are going to develop it, and which is going to provide you economical growth, which is going to provide you business. Stages of innovation development. What stages you will be having? One is ideation. So getting the idea itself is an innovation first step. Next is concept development. Once you are having idea, you have to develop the concept. How you are going to, concept is nothing but how you are going to make your schematic diagram of that innovation. What will be your next step? Then prototyping. The third one is prototyping. The prototyping, after concept development, you are going to make it in a schematic manner. What is the first step? What is the second step? What is the third step? What is the fourth step? And what is the fifth step? Like that, you are going to prototype it. Then you are going to implement it. You are going to try for the, what is the first step you have planned for, and you will try to do it experimentally. What is the first step? What is the second step? That is called as an implementation. Then you will go for a commercialization of what you have generated. That idea is called as a commercialization, means selling your idea, promoting your idea for the society and for the market. So idea, what exactly the five steps we have discussed, that is ideation, concept development, prototyping, implementation, and commercialization, which we will see in detail. Ideation is nothing but a objective is to generate a creative and viable ideas for solving the problems, or you are going to addressing the opportunities. You're going to find it out the opportunity out of your idea. Brainstorming sessions with the teams. You are going to improve your idea. What idea you have got, whether that will be beneficial, how you can improve, how you can get a much more idea, much more information about it. Conducting the market analysis, whether your idea will work out in market, that you have to find it out. That's called as a market analysis, to identify the gaps. And engaging in cross-disciplinary thinking. So you're going to engage or find out in a cross-disciplinary, such as the pharmacy equipments or pharmacy identifications, whether will be work out for other departments, or only it is restricted for the pharmacy. So that you are going to think it on. Then the tools, what we are going to think for the ideation are design thinking, SWOT analysis, and you can see that mind mapping. So what you can find is, when you have a SWOT analysis is nothing but it is a strength, weakness, opportunities, and the threat analysis. What will be having the strength out of this idea? What is weakness, and what is opportunities, and what is a threat? That analysis and mind mapping. So these are the tools for the ideation. Then concept development. Objective is going to be refined, and you are going to evaluate the ideas to create actionable concepts. You are going to make it into action. So it's nothing but detailed research analysis, detailed market analysis to assess the demand, whether your idea, what you have made it as a concept, whether that is having a demand in the market, or whether availability is there of that idea, whether you have availability, that is called as a feasibility, and developing a business cases, and also you are going to target the audience. If you have developed the pharmaceutical uh, product, then you have to target the pharmacy. You cannot target any other department people, right? So you are going to target the audience. So suppose pharmacy related means you are going to identify and target the pharma industries, or pharmaceutical drugstores, like that you are going to find it out the audience. And then assessing the technical and financial viability, whether you can able to put your finance, whether you can able to you able to be a sufficient with your financial ability, or you want a funding for that. That all includes in a concept development. Once you are having an idea, and you are going to refine it by thinking on the feasibility of that research, and targeting the audience, and financial viability. So outcome will be the concept will be ready for a further usage. What is your further usage? That is prototyping, making in a stepwise. We call it as an prototyping. That is the third step. Prototyping is an objective which can build a digital representation of your concept. Once your concept is ready, once your scheme is ready, you are going to produce it or you are going to digitalize it to make the other people to understand. Creating a mock-up, such as you are going to make a mock-up test or you are going to make it a working models so that people can able to understand your idea. That is called as an prototyping. And testing the prototypes with stakeholders or end users, you are going to test it whether this will be useful. Collecting the feedbacks, what ideas or what concept you have made, whether the feedbacks you are going to get it for improving your idea, that you are going to find it up in a prototyping. Then the tools are such as nowadays we are using a 3D printing and CAD softwares and also MVP, that is a minimum viable products frameworks, which will be using frequently for developing a new products. Then implementation. The objective is to transform the prototype into a market ready product. Once your prototype is going to be released into the market, we call it as an implementation, which we are going to implement it into the market or into the service. Setting up the production process and also supply chain. You are going to find it out the quality assurance, what you have developed, whether that quality is there, which can meet the requirement of the people, and regulatory compliances and detailed plans, whether it is going to be useful for developing a new product. That is called as an implementation. So you're going to find it out regulatory, quality assurance, and also you are going to roll out the what are all the plans. It will be a useful for a commercialization. So outcome is fully developed product you are going to release into the market. That is called as a commercialization. So it is going to be a tested product is ready for the commercialization. So fifth point is commercialization. Commercialization means selling your idea which you made into a product that is going to be a reach to the market. So objective is to introduce the product into the market and achieve its adoption. Adoption means they have to accept it. So how you are going to do that? So developing and executing a market strategies. You're going to develop according to the requirement of the market and establishing the distribution networks. So you're going to develop the marketing people so that they can distribute or they can introduce your innovative idea, which has been formed as a prototype, that you are going to commercialize it. And also you are going to get a customer support system and you are going to find it out the feedback, also monitoring the market performance, how the performance is there for your product, you will monitor and you will gather the post launch feedback after launching that product, whether it is useful to the society or whether any lacking is there, how you can improve that product. The outcome will be successful market entry and the product is going to be uptake by the people. The common challenges in the innovation is, one is a lack of the resources. When you have any new idea, the people are not going to support you. The second one is resistance to change. If they have an old idea, such as, for example, writing of article, the people are interested in writing manually. Nowadays, artificial intelligence is more adaptable, but people don't like to adapt it. So that is called as a resistance to change. Then the third one is fear of failure. Once you have developed any product, then there may be a fear that whether that will be accepted or it may be it may be a successful or it may not be a successful. So that failure fear you will be having. Then fourth one will be the lack of the customer understanding. What you have developed, the people may not be able to understand. That is lack of customer understanding. And regulatory hurdles, such as you will be having a laws and the rules for that particular products which you need to consider it. Coming to the next subtopic of today's session, that is a technology readiness level, that is TRLS. So technology readiness level are a systematic framework used to measure or evaluate the maturity of the technology during the development. So whatever you are going to develop, how much it is matured, how much it is reaching to the end level, from the earliest research stage to the full deployment, that is a full usage when it reaches to the commercialization, that is operational use, that you are going to check, which is called as technology readiness level. So here, understanding of TRL can help the researchers who are doing the research on the products or the processes, or engineers or the project managers, to identify where a technology stands in a life cycle, whether it is required to be a polishing or whether it can be released into the market. So the plan its development, they also helpful for managing the risks. Whether it is completely developed, you can release into the market, or you need to polish it. So that is going to be helpful by finding out with a TRL. So TRL to assess and communicate the progress and a readiness for the implementation. So there are 9 levels of the TRLs are there, which from the basic scientific principles to real world environment, which we will see now. So before that, why are TRLs are important? One is for communication. So TRL provide a clear, concise way to describe the status of the technology, to what level you have reached. From the first to ninth level, there are a TRL levels are there for any product or a process completion. So how much it is developed, that you can able to understand. The communication you can able to find it out with the TRL steps. And you can make a decision. The second one is decision making. You can evaluate or you can decide on the investment, whether the product is fully developed, then you can plan for the investment. Then it minimizes the risk. It identifies a potential risk of early development process, and also it is helpful for the research management. They allow the teams to focus efforts, funding on the critical stages, whether the product you are confident that it is fully developed, then you can focus on funding on the critical stages of the technology development. So let us see what are all those 9 types of TRLs. TRL1, which we call it as basic principles observed, which is called as a basic principles observed. TRL2 is technology concept is going to be formulated. So what you are having a technology concept, you can formulate. TRL3 is experimental proof of concept. So what you have planned, you are having any demonstration on that? What experiments you can plan on that? That is a experimental proof of the concept. Then TRL4, technology is going to be validated in a lab. You are going to test in the lab to find out that what you have planned, whether it will be successful in the lab. Then TRL, fifth one is validated in the relevant environment. Once you are going to develop in the lab, you are going to test in the real environment. That is in a large scale. Then technology demonstrated in the relevant environment, which is going to be demonstrated. You have to demonstrate in a small scale. You have to invest and you have to demonstrate in a small scale. That is called as a TRL6. TRL7 is the prototype is going to be a demonstrated. Means you have to make a stepwise properly all your plans. Then you have to develop it and you are going to execute it in a large way, in a large industrial level. That is a TRL7. And TRL8, your system is completely developed and it is qualified for a further usage. And the ninth one is actual system proven in a environmental operational environment. So actual system is going to release into the market is called as a TRL9. So we'll see one by one. That is TRL1, basic principle is observed. The journey begins with the fundamental research. So you have something in your brain that you want to do a research on that. That may be an innovative research. So that there your journey is going to begin. For example, discovering a new material or a phenomenon in a lab. You're going to discover a new material or a new phenomenon in the lab is a TRL1. TRL2 is what idea you have got in a TRL1, which you are going to be make it as a concept formula. That is here applying the discovery is going to be proposed. Example, idea of using the material for a new type of the solar cell. So you want to make any solar cell, you will be getting the idea of solar cell. Then the third one is experimental proof of the concept. So what concept you have formulated, you have to prove that experimental concept out of that. Experimental work is conducted to validate and the to feasibility of the concept. For example, the lab experiment demonstrate the material can generate the electricity. So you are going to find it out whether what innovation on the material you have done, whether it can generate the electricity. So if you take any pharmaceutical product, whether that product is going to be beneficial for the disease, that you are going to check in a TRL3. TRL4, technology validated in the lab. You are going to check in a lab level. What innovation you have done, that you will be checking in a lab level. For example, creating a small solar panel prototype in the lab. Then the fifth one is technology validated in the relevant environment. Real world environment. Relevant means real world conditions, such as you are going to find it out outdoor conditions, not in the lab. That is the fifth one. And that is a validation. And this, when you are going to demonstrate in a small building, that is in a real world only, outdoor only, in a small scale, that is called as a TRL6. TRL7, you are going to demonstrate in a large way, that is operational environment. The prototype operates under a real world condition. For example, the same example when you take, you will understand solar panel system is installed in the factory, that is in a large level. So that is the seventh TRL is in a large level. Then TRL8, system complete and qualified. Your product is ready. So the technology is fully developed. What you have planned, what you have done innovation, it is fully developed, tested, and meets all operational requirements. For example, certified solar panel system ready for commercial use. It is certified, it is ready for a commercial use. Then the ninth one, TRL, is actual system is going to be used for a operation. That is operational use means commercialization. The final product is deployed, that is completely ready. Deployed means completely ready and functioning as intended, as you have planned. For example, solar panels are widely adopted. Finally, it is ready means it is adopted by the homes and also for the purpose of businesses. So advantages of this TRL is, you can see that it gives a roadmap for developing a technology, and also it is helpful for R&D goals to achieve, and it is applicable across the various industries. The limitations of this is user adoption. It has to be adopted by the users. If they don't adopt, it will be not useful. And evaluation can be subjective without standardized criteria. It is subjective means there is no particular criteria is fixed here. And not all projects are going to be fit for this TRL. For example, you can see that any software development, you are not going to take these all 9 steps there. So this is a limitations there. Then for example of the TRL, when you take SpaceX, that is nothing but when you want to conceptualize a rocket system, when you want to develop the rocket system, the first 3 steps are very, very important. When you have a plan, you will develop the concept, you will make the prototype. First 3 steps of the TRL will be successful, and which can be helpful for directly making the TRL 9. Because TRL 4, 5, 6 in a lab setup we can do. But with the help of Falcon rocket system and all, you are not going to do any lab setups. Directly, you will be trying in a outside environment. So TRL 1 to 3 is helpful here. So that is one of the example. If you take a healthcare system, how the TRL will be helpful is TRL 1, that is idea generation, that you will take, and then you are going to develop that idea by adopting. TRL 6 and 7. That is nothing but in a lab level and outdoor level. And finally, you're going to go for a commercialization. So these are one or two examples of some of the TRL, how you are going to use it. So commercialization of the lab technologies. Once you are going to develop any lab technologies, how one can commercialize it, how one can sell it, or how one can bring it to the market. So commercialization of the lab technologies involve, it is a scientific discoveries or innovations made in a laboratories and transforming them to marketable products. You are going to develop in the lab and you will be marketing to the marketing the products outside for the services. So the process which bridges the gap between research and industry. You are going to have a research and you are going to produce it, or you are going to supply it to the industry, allowing your new technologies to be applied into the real world settings. So there are so many steps are there. Innovation, number one, innovation, then invention disclosure, then you're going to make a patent of that, that is intellectual property assessment, then IP filing, then the fifth one is commercialization, then the sixth one, you're going to start up a company, then the seventh one is you are going to negotiate the license, then you will be following up for the support of the manufacturer. So in detail, we will see the steps in the commercialization of the lab technologies. One is research and development. How you are going to commercialize your product? You are going to find it out your innovation through the research and development. That is first thing. Second thing is intellectual property rights. So whatever innovation has done, it should not be occupied or used by somebody else. So you are going to make a IP out of that. IP means intellectual property right. That is intellectual property protection, that is patent. Then third one is commercialization of what idea you are having. Then you are going to find it out the funding sources, that is who can invest on that, whether you can be capable, or you can find it out the fundings who can provide a funding for your innovation to develop into the market level. And the next step is development of prototype and productization. That is, you are going to make your own schematic manner to produce that product. That is a prototyping, and you are going to produce it. Then regulatory approval. Once you are going to develop your product, you have to take a approval from the regulatory. Then a marketing and sales. You are going to do the marketing for a developed product. Finally, post-launch and scaling. And you are going to, post-launch is nothing but once a launching of the product is done, you are going to market it, you are going to sell it, and you are going to scaling. Scaling means, again, further you are going to manufacture it by collecting the many fundings. So these are the steps involved in commercialization of lab technologies. So in that, the challenges in the commercialization, when you bring any of your product or innovations into the market, what you require, what challenges will be there is funding and investment. You require a funding from the funding sources. Regulatory hurdles was a lot of the rules and the regulations for your innovation, and market readiness, whether it is acceptability from the market is there or no. And then intellectual property issues, whether you can able to make a patent or any issues is there. Scaling challenges, how much you have to produce in a small scale or in a large scale, whether it will be a saleable or no, that all are the challenges. And ethical and social considerations, even ethically it is approved or not approved, these all are the challenges in the commercialization. So conclusion is commercialization of your innovation or lab technologies is a complex, but once it is acceptable, it is a rewarding process by navigating the stages from the research and development to the market launch. So you can have a breakthrough technologies to the life, helping to solve real world problems. Success depends on combination of intellectual property management and also adequate funding and regulatory and market strategies, and also how much you can able to scalable, how much you can able to manufacture it. And with the right approach, the lab technologies can be transforming experimental stages into the market, that is economical growth. Coming to technology transfer, that is tech transfer, what we call it as. Technology transfer refers to process of moving a technology, knowledge, and innovations from the organization to another organization to ensure that the research, innovation, or a new technology is effectively commercialized. It's nothing but you are going to commercialize your product. Tech transfer is nothing but you are going to commercialize, or it is going to be applied into the real world from the academics into the industry level for economy, for growth. And this process typically involves transforming technology from the research institutions. So your research institutions, if you are doing a research, you can able to generate your own research and you can able to sell it. Like universities or government labs, that is a research institutes, or and also some of the labs, and which is going to be taken these your products or innovation to the private companies or manufacturers or other any commercial enterprises to develop your product. That is called as a tech transfer. Importance of tech transfer is economic growth. As I have told you, the economic growth with R&D always will be blooming. So tech transfer helps to foster economic growth by bringing innovative technologies to the market, creating new ideas, creating new industries, new jobs, public benefits, and also technologies developed through the public funding can have a wide reaching impacts on the healthcare, and it is going to provide sustainability for your products when you have a public benefits, and it is going to be improve in a collaboration. So it promotes a collaboration between the academic when you have any developed innovation, that is any product or innovations, which will have a collaboration with the academic and industries and government, and also government or industrial sectors or uh, interdisciplinary innovations also will be helpful for the market. So that is going to improve your collaboration from the academics to the industries and assess access to the resources. So it starts up or small companies will be getting a benefit from the advanced research and the technologies. And also, which may not, they may not be having a resource persons for developing such products. So you can develop and you can commercialize it. You can sell your products to the industries. So that is called as a tech transfer, which will be helpful as an helpful for the economic growth, public benefits and improved collaboration and also access to the resources. So these are the steps which are involved in the technology transfer process, that is innovation. Then you are going to disclose your innovation. Then you are going to evaluate whether your innovation is helpful for the society. Then you will be protecting it through the IP, that is intellectual property. Then marketing it. Then licensing of your product. Then the product development is going to be commercialized, right? So one is a knowledge exchange. The key aspects of the technology transfer is you are going to transfer your knowledge, that is not just a physical technology such as a patents or a prototypes, but also you are going to learn here skills and expertise required to use it, then improve or commercialize the technology. IP protection management. A major part of the tech transfer involves identifying, patenting, licensing the IP. Then partnerships. Often the tech transfer involves creating the partnerships between the research institutes and also the private companies. So you are going to have the collaboration with the private companies. These collaboration take the form of licensing agreements, joint ventures. So these joint ventures help you to bring your product into the commercialization. Then commercialization is ultimate goal of tech transfer, is to bring innovation to the market level. So it is going to lead your developed new product or services or the process to benefit the society as well as industry and also helpful for your economic growth. Then regulatory and the legal framework. So the process also requires a legal and a regulatory frameworks for patenting, licensing or product development. So for this, universities usually will be having a research centers, typically have a TTOs, that is a technology transfer offices, which can help you to make your product into the patent, and which is responsible for managing the IPs, that is intellectual properties. Then challenges in the technology transfer. One is compatibility. You will be having a compatible product. Challenges, that is compatibility. Either it may be a compatible or it may not be a compatible. So again, it depends when you have developed any product which may not be acceptable by the industries, and lack of a plan. The plan what you have done, it may not containing the full-fledged plan, or which may not suit for others. Then legal issues. There will be a lot of the legal issues for the developed product, which may or may not be used into the market or by the people. And skill gap. The skill gap of what industry people skills are having, that universities or the academics may not be have sufficient skill to use for the research activity. Then organizational structure. The structure of the organization may not be containing of full-fledged equipments or full-fledged facilities for completing those tasks or those researches, which can develop the product, which may be lacking in the organization. Then financial burden. The universities or academics may not be having a complete funding for developing what plan you are having, for developing the product what you have planned. Then time constraint. The time will not be sufficient for developing that product. So that is also a challenging. Then communication. There will be a communication gap between the industry as well as the academics. So these are all the challenges which you are going to face when you will be having a technology transfer of developed product from the academics into the research labs. Then in conclusion, tech transfer process is complex process that is going to require a multidisciplinary approach. It is effective planning is required, documentation is required, training, transfer verification, then commercialization. These are the steps essential for the process. Along with this, maintaining effective communication as well is required. Thank you, one and all. So here we are going to end with the topic innovation, TRL, and tech transfer. For further queries, we'll have a discussion on this, and feel free to ask me. Thank you, Lina Madam, and thank you, Management, Jain College of Pharmacy, for providing me opportunity to share the knowledge about innovation and technology transfer as well as TRL. Thank you, one and all.